So ever since the pandemic started, I've been a big fan of podcasts. We're all at home, we're all isolated. We might as well find some ways to reach out and touch another human. Not literally, don't touch other people, but we all needed to find some way to scratch that social itch somehow, and people really came through. Podcasts aren't a new thing, but there have been a bajillion podcasts that have started ever since the pandemic hit. So I'm sure those of us who watch podcasts always have an opinion of some sort. And we're just there. We don't contribute to the conversation unless you're in the comments. Shout out to all the people in the comments. But today I figured, hey, why not weigh in on some podcasts? Just have a virtual hangout with people who are actually real people but aren't actually there in the room with you, or who you aren't in the room with to give your opinion. No one asks for my opinion, so I figure I might as well give it somewhere. The stories on Two Hot Takes really get me going. It's just amazing how people just get in their own way sometimes.
This one is titled, Am I the Asshole for My Reaction to My Birthday Present? I, female 29, met Will, male 30, 6 years ago when I moved into a new apartment close to university. We really hit it off and have been together ever since. Will was married right out of high school to someone who was not a very good match. They were young, dumb, and made a colossal mistake. This was before I met Will, but it sounds like both sides were out to inflict as much pain as possible. Will reached out to his ex-wife relatively recently, about 2 years ago, to apologize for all the pain he put her through. However, coming out of that, Will told me that he has realized he never wants to get married again. This was a surprise to me, but I have never really wanted the white picket fence, so no marriage didn't really bother me. I am happy just to be in a long-term, committed relationship. Recently, it was my birthday, and we had some people over for a barbecue, but Will insisted we do presents in front of everyone. Will had been really bragging about how this was the perfect gift, and I had to save the best for last.
Tell me he didn't propose. Girl, the thing of it is, I don't know what she said to him about it. I'm assuming straight up that he literally tried to propose to her for her birthday, because this reeks. It reeks of stupid. OP just told us that she found it strange or taken aback by it. She has come to terms with it. She says that she's fine with just being in a long-term committed relationship. And maybe she has acclimated to those expectations. I don't know how much she wanted to get married specifically before, but her having adapted to this thought process of, okay, we're just going to be in a long committed relationship, maybe even a common law thing. But this is the thing, these two have been doing discussions. These two have discussed exactly what it is that they want from life or don't want from life. So again, discuss your proposals and future plans with your partners beforehand, people, because let's see how this turns out. I have completely preempted the punchline of this story, but I don't know, I got a feeling.
It was a diamond-tipped drill set. To be clear, I don't own a drill and have no interest in anything related to drills. My face fell, and Will burst out laughing, saying that the joke is that these diamonds are the only diamonds I could ever expect to receive from him. Quote, get it? Because we aren't ever getting engaged?
Okay, well, that completely... I've never been so wrong in my entire life. That's not true, but...
What?
Okay, so that just... So it is the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite of what I thought, which is nuts, but let's go. So he is now poking... It's a prank. It's a birthday prank that he chose to do in front of everyone. Here I thought it was going to be some sort of sweet, grand gesture that she wasn't really expecting and didn't know how to feel about. Now it's a complete asshole gesture. A diamond-tipped drill set. I hope that didn't cost money. I hope that's fake, because I would rip him a new one if I found out that he actually spent money on that for a prank. But also, can you not make fun of the fact that we're never getting married? Because again, she may have acclimated to the fact that they're just gonna be in a long-term relationship forever, but that doesn't mean you have to rub it in either. So is this a thing with him? Has he always been a freaking prankster? Or is this the first inkling that you've seen of him where he's just being an asshole? A bit of a red flag. Ladies, think better for yourselves. Do not marry pranksters. Run far, run further. Yeah, this took a turn. You're not the asshole. He pranked you for your birthday with something sentimental or with a sentimental topic of disappointment. So we don't appreciate those. We don't appreciate pranks. No, also, it's not a fun prank. Big red flag. Is this a habit? Girl, like, you need to preempt with, my husband's a prankster. Well, my boyfriend's a prankster, because this is not the one. We don't even need a divorce. Dump him.
I was so humiliated. I excused myself and went into the house, and I suppose that everyone left after a while. Will tried to then give me my real present later that evening, because the drill bits were only meant as a joke. But I didn't even open it because I couldn't understand why he was so cruel in front of all of my friends. Will says that I'm overreacting when I have another gift, and I agreed that we wouldn't get married. I feel really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, dude, even if your real present was actually a ring and it was a double bamboozle, it's like, what do you get out of the initial making somebody feel uncomfortable, disturbed, scared, stupid? Like, it's just laughing at them. And the only thing you're expecting from them is for them to laugh at themselves, because it's their emotions that are being played with. What is happening? I can see why his ex-wife really probably had a problem with him, and why they both were really toxic to each other. Because this is toxic. And this is toxic without any precedent. I don't know how toxic his ex-wife would have been, but this is toxic upfront with that we know of, with no prompting. Like, what did his girlfriend do to deserve this? Do we play practical jokes on each other?
Am I overreacting?
No, that's humiliating.
That's really bad.
And it's not humiliating because they don't want marriage. I think that's perfectly fine. Big proponent for that. I think you didn't need to make it into a mockery. I think it's the way in which he created the charade almost to purposely make her feel embarrassed when it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
When someone else's misery, discomfort, insert any negative emotion here, if that person's negative emotion makes you feel good, that's freaking cruel. Especially when they didn't do anything to deserve that negative emotion. It's not justice. You just like people having negative emotions.
I don't get the joke.
I don't really know either. What was the joke? We talked about this in another episode, that when it's sometimes people make really offensive jokes, and sometimes when you really boil it down, you're like, what is the joke? He's trying to prove a point that he's never going to marry her.
That's the thing.
But that's not a joke. It's just a fact.
They are really picking up apart the wife thing too, considering the fact that he felt the need to reach out years later to apologize to his ex-wife about his behavior.
He knows.
It was probably pretty heinous. Any hope OP had that he's grown out of the behaviors towards his ex has now been ground to pieces with diamond drill bits.
Oof.
Yeah, speak truth.
I was talking to Rad Sads at his birthday party, and he was telling me that when he learned how to piss in the toilet, his parents would put Cheerios in the water, and he would aim to get the Cheerios with his penis stream.
Why do you call it the penis stream? You mean piss stream?
You sound like this never happened to you.
Wouldn't it push around too much?
Yes, you gotta keep on it, right?
But is
No,
it
but
the
it
goal?
would, it would eventually make you piss on the side.
Yeah, and the goal is to piss always in the center. Well, actually,
Your
the goal
job
is
is
not
to
to
piss in the toilet.
Well, actually,
For anyone who's used different toilets, it depends on the toilet. Like, some toilets are a full-on pool, and sometimes there is no side of the bowl to be had. There's nothing but water. If there are walls to the bowl and they're dry and they are at certain angles, pissing at certain angles will probably get you the peak amount of silence as well as the least amount of splashback. Some bowls don't give you nearly enough silence and you still get splashback. So, it's a science. You kind of gotta feel around for it. But generally speaking, the walls are always my go-to. It cannot be audible.
than this. Where are you guys aiming when you're peeing standing up?
When the pee
Wait,
standing
as an
up?
adult or as a kid?
As an adult,
It depends
as
on
an adult.
What time of day?
It
I'm not that's a serious question.
it is not.
What?
It's general.
I'm
not gonna give you time of day.
If
If
there's
it's
people are up or people are sleeping, I'm pissing on the side.
You're pissing on the side. If it's 2 a.m., you're pissing in the silent zone.
Silent zone.
So
it also
He
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
consider other people's
All right,
feelings, so
all right,
he's
all
never
right.
thought of
sit
this.
down.
Yeah.
We both sit down
I
when
know,
we
but
Wow.
we're imagining a world where we're standing. I think sitting down and peeing is optimal, but we're imagining a world where we stand. Sometimes
Yeah.
I stand. It's happened.
I appreciate the sitting down to pee strat. You can do that. I have a fear of toilet bowls. Especially, if it's public, you're not catching me on any seat. Absolutely not. If it's at home, it's okay, fine. Yeah, sure, you do that. I still would rather avoid the toilet seat. Like I don't need to pull everything down. I don't need to like get all that contact happening. There's so much that goes in to sitting. It's like I don't have time. Who has the time?
You aiming when you pee when you sit down?
No, you
so
just
obviously
sit.
we're not asking that fucking question, right?
I haven't stood.
No, but that's why I'm
Also, these dudes who don't even wipe the toilet seat before they sit, they just go in and they're like, whoop. Years of going to uncouth boys' schools has really solidified me the fact that if you're using the toilet, like, you gotta clean up after other people sometimes if you're getting your hands or your butt dirty in there. Like, people, you don't know what could be on a toilet seat.
Boris, what are you doing? Daytime. It's 3
I'm
p.m.
trying,
Pacific.
I think I'm trying my hardest to hit dead center.
Probably
You're
doesn't
hitting
matter.
Dead center.
I would
Yeah.
used to do this thing where I'd try to make the most bubbles with my piss.
So you're like
So you're
forcing it
agitating
out.
the corners? Or
Yeah, well, that's a
No,
slime
it's
thing.
dead center.
But you're forcing it out to go
Like
faster?
I'm like pushing hard with my kegel and pissing.
I don't know
at
if that's
full
healthy
power
for you.
To the middle of like the stream
feel like that's
to
not
like get it
healthy.
to like submerge.
Are you guys lifting
and
the toilet
froth
seat?
And froth.
Yes.
Are you lifting the toilet seat?
Yeah, or not? I don't
Be
care.
real. Are you lifting the toilet seat at home?
If I'm at home, yes. If I'm in public, probably not.
Lift the
Yeah?
toilet seat at home?
Yeah, I don't want to piss on the toilet seat.
Wait, no. Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean
Thank
the
you.
second seat, right?
Yeah. yes, Ludwig. The second one. I don't
Dude,
want
that's a tiny little poop hole.
I don't want to have to clean piss off the toilet seat.
What are we talking about? If you have to pee standing up, you lift the flippin' toilet seat. What are you There is no debate. There's no nothing. If you're in public and you're a savage, I guess, these days, especially in a clean bathroom, if it's a clean bathroom, I'm going to lift the seat. And I might probably do it with my shoe, the underside of my shoe. I'm flexible like that. I'll lift up a toilet seat with my shoe and put it back down with the shoe. Peeing in the toilet when the seat is down is just you being disrespectful of the next set of people who have to go in there. And you assuming that no one is going to sit on that toilet seat. A lot of guys have good aim, but a lot of guys have occasionally multiple streams. And sometimes there's also splashing that happens. Sometimes they aim dead center and there's a splash up and outward and it'll just get on the seat. So it's like, do your diligence.
Yeah,
So I
that's fair.
don't do it. I
That's
lift
fair.
I just live with women.
It. You know what I don't do is I don't leave it down.
You just leave
Because
it up
I
all the
couldn't
time.
name a woman. So you think I'm gonna
Yeah,
fucking...
that's true. When you leave it up sometimes, do you shit with it up?
No, I've never fallen in.
What?
No, not fall in, but like still sit on the
No,
porcelain.
it's gross.
I
No.
used to do that.
Wait,
No
what?
I just sit on the porcelain.
Really?
I just sit on
No.
the porcelain.
Wait, why?
Me, I would sit on the porcelain because it was up.
Why do you keep
Why
saying
didn't
it
you
that
just
way?
put it?
What?
Because I lived in a house, it was roommates, it was college, and they always kept the toilet seat up. And the
Uh-huh.
toilet seat, I would always wipe down, but it was just like, it was just a pain to keep putting it down.
Wait, hold on.
It wasn't a pain.
So you
It was a
said
pain.
so there's
I would just sit
there's
on
the
it.
lid.
You know what else is a pain? Taking a shower, but you do it anyway. What the I knew when I was gonna watch this episode of this podcast that I was gonna get some degenerate takes. And I'm so thankful because this is awful and disgusting and everything I knew that straight white men could be.
Yeah.
Then there's the seat.
There's a seat.
Then there's the porcelain.
Right.
And you would lift
Just
the
sit on
seat
the
and sit on.
porcelain.
Isn't it not gross?
No.
It is.
Porcelain.
yeah, but that's where like the
it's
piss...
gross.
like-
If the porcelain was clean, would you feel fine sitting on it?
no, because it's so wide that you fall in.
Because there's a seat.
It's cold. But
Fall
why
in.
not just put the seat down? It takes literally less
I
than 1
didn't
second.
want to do it.
Great, good for you. Let's talk about real
Okay, they wanna
people,
do
what
it.
they do.
It wasn't-
I used to go in the bathroom and pee in the trash can.
What?
I didn't stop doing it till I was like 6.
Why?
I don't know.
What would your
Weird.
mom say?
But she hated it.
Obviously.
So mad.
Grounded. No dinner.
Until I was like 6.
Starve.
Stop doing what she told you to stop.
I don't know. I was 6.
Why was the toilet next to it?
Being
Right
6
next
is
to
not an
it. It was in the
excuse.
toilet.
I don't know.
This is like picking Falco instead
Are you
of Fox.
standing when you're peeing in the toilet or the trash can? Yeah. You're missing a lot
I'm missing a lot.
of the trash can. It's a smaller hole.
Yeah, maybe that was a challenge.
I think
This
it's
is a true
crazy.
story.
I think it's crazy. not to-
But you sit on porcelain. Shut the fuck up. He was 6 pissing in the trash can. That's less egregious to me. You were sitting on porcelain in a college apartment.
For those who don't know, I dated Lance for about a year, while I was on Boy Meets World, and it was my senior year. And Lance came with me to my high school prom, my Calabasas high school prom. He was my date. Basically, we were doing like a live night. I remember people from ABC coming to me and saying, okay, Danielle, as one of the only girls on this show, who would you love to see? And they kind of presented me the option, definitely get NSYNC. And they did. And I remember thinking like, I wonder if, this is going well with Lance. I wonder if he's going to try to get my number at the end of this. And I remember Lance and Justin, everybody kind of coming out and saying goodbye, and we hugged goodbye, and they got all the way to the bus. And I watched him walk onto the bus, and I started to turn around. The bus started to take off, and I started walking to my car. And then all of a sudden I heard, Danielle! And I stopped, and I turned around, and it was Justin.
What? Wait a minute.
Justin comes running up to me, and he goes,
plot twist. I thought it was gonna be Lance. What do you mean it was Justin? What kind of love story is this? Topanga.
Danielle, I need to get your number.
Oh,
and I was
really?
Like, what?
Do you know?
And he goes, it's for Lance. And I said,
well, that
yeah,
makes sense.
okay. And I gave him my phone number, and he...
Lance, explain this. Why is Justin wingmanning? Why didn't you have the balls, Lance? Explain yourself.
So just curiously, Lance, why did you break up with her?
She knows what she did.
Okay, alright, hold on. Alright, so I also had this question. Like, give us the honest, mature, like, down-to-earth answer. Because honestly, it could have just not worked.
It turns out I'm not Lance's type.
Yeah, it turns out, I like other things.
Sake. I don't know NSYNC. I don't pry into their personal lives. How the hell am I supposed to know what this man's tastes are? Like, I'm from the 90s, but I was not here for... I just wasn't. I wasn't there for the boy bands. Like, there was a time where it was like, oh, they have good music. Oh, they dance cool. Neat. Okay, Lance. I didn't know you were the gay one, but okay. Nice to meet you. I don't appreciate the sarcasm that was used there. I was not in on the joke.
One of the weeks you were able to come to visit was the week we were filming Corey and Topanga's wedding. Because I remember being around you in my at least veil, if not the wedding dress, and thinking like, I wonder what my wedding dress will look like when Lance and I are getting married.
Cringe.
Yeah, it didn't creep me out at all.
I wasn't.
No pressure.
And you said for my time off, I'd love to come to LA and spend it with you. And I said, okay, great. And so I told my mom that Lance wanted to do that. I think the next day she said to me, your dad and I talked about it, and we've actually changed our minds. As long as I know we can trust you and we can trust Lance, that he will stay in his bedroom and you will stay in your bedroom. Lance spends so much of his time on the road. He's constantly in hotels. So we don't want him to feel like he's
gonna stay in his bedroom. Don't worry about it.
To feel like he's welcome in our family.
He'll
So we'd like for him to stay with us.
I respect those house rules.
Yes, we did. We respected the house rules.
When Lance broke up with me, I then called my mom and I told her I was in hysterics. And my mom said,
and she's like, well, he's gay,
Danielle,
obviously.
Can I just ask you a question?
Oh my
God.
God.
I said, sure. And she said, so you've been with Lance for almost a year. And I said, yes. And she
How's
said,
the nookie?
do you think there's any possibility that Lance might be gay?
Oh.
And I said, no. Gosh, Mom, just because he doesn't like me doesn't mean he's gay. It was like, to me, I thought she was just trying to make me feel better. Like, like, no, Danielle, maybe it's because he doesn't like anyone. And I just thought, oh my gosh, everybody's trying to make me feel better.
Right.
No, Mom, that's not it. And then I hung up the phone from her and I was a little bit like,
wait a minute. Wait a minute.